Finger 3, I flick, both cards turn over, you hear that slap. It hits the back of the deck and slaps to a dead stop, and you have achieved the colour change. The Magician takes the Ace of Spades. He flicks it, he flicks it, he flicks it, flicks it, he flicks it, flicks it, flicks it, he flicks it. Hey. He flicks it, flicks it, flicks it, he flicks it. Ooh. Flicks it, and it becomes the 9 of clubs. The 9 of clubs is then handed out for inspection, where the participant is invited to respond accordingly. I don't believe what I'm seeing. Margaret, did you see it? Margaret, it took the Ace of Spades. He had the 9 of clubs hidden behind it, like this, and then he flicked it, and they turned around so quickly that it just looked like a magic trick. It's so good, isn't it, Margaret? Margaret! Hold on a second. Margaret! Hi, I'm Daniel Madison, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Thanks for choosing to spend a little bit more time with me today in this video. I'm going to teach you another transformation. I'm going to teach you another color change. Used to be called color, wanted to refresh it, wanted to call it the matte change, so it's called the matte change. There are three variations in this video, and I'm going to teach you each and every one of them. Very simple. The mechanics are also very simple too, easy to achieve. Let's get straight to it. Let's get straight to the mechanics, and let's learn how to achieve the matte change. You want to buy some sausages? Straight to the mechanics. I'm going to show you 3 different versions up close. I'm going to reveal everything, and then after this little segment we're going to look at this more intricately. Basically, you're going to take 2 playing cards. This is just what it looks like, I guess. You're going to take 2 playing cards. The top one you're going to turn face up. So we're going to have the Ace of Spades and the 9 of clubs behind it. Here's version 1, which is suitable for kind of looking down up close, where you have the deck at waist height. People are kind of looking down on the deck. You're going to hold a break underneath the top 2 cards so you can get to them so much easier. And you're going to have your thumb on this corner here, on the index corner, top left corner, to right left, top left corner. Finger 1, you're going to turn your right hand face up. This will make it so much easier, the mechanics. Turn your right hand face up. Use finger 1 to pick up both cards here. You're going to press so that there's some pressure in between those 2 playing cards. Once you feel that pressure, once you feel safe that these 2 cards aren't going to fall apart, cheers Charlie, you're going to pivot. You're going to rotate over here, a bit like the swing change, a bit like yesterday's video, the swing change. You're going to pull over here just until the cards clear the deck. There we go. Just as soon as they clear, we're good to go. You want the card to be kind of parallel with the top. You want it to be straight, but you do want a gap to be there. You want a gap by about 1/2 centimeter. You don't want that gap to be too big, but it's not a big deal. You just want there to be a gap. That's all that matters at this point. So once you're in this position, you swing out like this. You're now in position to go. Keep that grip with either finger 2 or finger 3, whichever one you feel the most comfortable with, and this will only come with practice. You're now going to flick both of these playing cards on this corner as hard as you like. The harder you flick, the faster the cards will turn over. When the cards turn over, this corner is going to be stopped by the deck. So there's no way in the world that this card can do a full spin. It simply has to stop in this position, because right there, the index stops on the back of the deck. So here, flick as hard as you like. I usually use finger 3. A few people I've taught this to prefer finger 2. I usually go for finger 3, simply because of the position. Finger 3 is already in that position, makes it look more natural when I just go and grab finger 3 rather than overstretching. Finger 3, I flick, both cards turn over, you hear that slap. It hits the back of the deck and slaps to a dead stop, and you have achieved the color change. Once again, gap between two cards, pick up with finger 1 here, swing it around so that it clears the deck, flick with finger 3, the card turns over and stops on the back of the deck. From this position, you can simply put both cards on top of the deck and clean up. We're going to cover some cleanup techniques after this section. So that was version 1. I'm going to show you version 2. So version 2 looks like this. So the ace of spades is turned over on top, like so. We show these. Let me get you in focus even. We turn the ace of spades over like this. This time we turn it over like this so people can look head on. Now I do the same thing. I'm going to flick this corner and they're going to turn around and stop on the back of the deck. Now what's happening here, this is ideal for people who are looking head on, people who aren't looking down on it because of the angle. You're lifting up 2 playing cards. When you turn over the ace of spades, you're going to get a break underneath the 9 of clubs behind it too, and you're pressing the deck into your flannel. I believe this part of your hand is called the flannel. So you're pushing the deck into here. The pivot point now, you grab both those cards at the outer top right corner here, and this is the pivot angle now. So you're going to pivot backwards, and now use your thumb and other fingers if you need to go upwards and into this position. So it's kind of stood up nicely next to the deck, to the side of the deck and to the back. Now pay attention to a few things here. 1, the deck is in line with the back, with these 2 playing cards. They line up perfectly with the back of the deck. I tilt the deck up slightly, like so. I tilt it up a little bit because when I flick these 2 cards now, they're going to stop. They're going to be stopped by the deck, so they can do a dead stop on the 9 of clubs, revealing the change. But you're going to need to get used to those 2 things first. Back, upwards, tilt it out here, the deck goes up. Once you feel that this is comfortable enough, that these playing cards aren't going to come apart here, you're now going to take finger 3 and flick this outside corner as hard as you like. The cards are going to both spin round and be stopped by the deck, achieving the color change. From this point, I simply grab with the finger that's already there and my thumb, put them on top of the deck, and now I have cleaned up once again. Again, we'll cover the cleanup bits after this. There's another version of this that I really love, which is in the hands. So you just take apparently 1 playing card. You're gonna hold 2 cards back to back, 9 of clubs hidden behind the ace of spades. The fingers are gonna work their way down the side of the deck, and finger 3 is gonna meet this corner. I'm now gonna maneuver the card into this position. So my thumb has now made its way to the top here, and it's going to grip this corner. Finger 3 is going to grip this corner here, and I'm going to stretch those 2 cards upwards like this, away from my hand, so that they're away from my hand like this. What you will notice about this, hopefully you will notice about this is a big enough hole, a big enough gap so that the card can turn around without being stopped anywhere on my hand. So that's what you need to go for. You need to allow those 2 cards to be able to spin in your hands freely. And I apologize if your hands are too small for this, but at least you've got the other 2 versions. So we moved into this position from here into this position. We lift the cards upwards like this. Now you want to be in a position where it's kind of lateral to your body, parallel to your body, and finger 3 is more towards the participant, the thumb's towards me. It looks very strange with these 2 fingers sticking out. I'm going to now come over the top like this with this finger, and I'm going to flick downwards on this corner. Now when I do that, I can flick as hard as I like. I'm going to go over far enough so that when I flicked, this finger, this hand is in the way and stops the card as well. I get a little bit closer like this. Now the card naturally stops on my fingers, which are behind the card now, and I'm now in a perfect position to let go with my left hand, grab both cards with my right hand, let go with my left to show the card. Cheers, Charlie. I'm now in a position where I have a hidden ace of spades on the back of this card. If the deck's close by, I can drop them on top and clean up. However, I do like the idea of putting them back in this hand and then doing a gambler's cop to take away the ace of spades, to steal it away. Once again, the gambler's cop is, if you haven't picked it up yet, the gambler's cop masterclass, or if you haven't learned it yet from anywhere else, please do it. It's a genius slide. Probably my favorite slide of all time. Now, if you want to be a bit more confident, you can put finger 2 on this corner instead of finger 3. This allows for a much bigger window here, so that there's definitely no chance that that card's gonna get stuck anywhere in between the change. Let's talk about the intricacies of this a little bit closer up. So the first version of this is probably my favorite. It's the first one that I came up with a long time ago. Just as usual, like a lot of sleight of hand and a lot of these techniques and a lot of tricks, you carry them for years and years before you get them perfect, and secretively you never actually get them perfect. You never do. But along the way, trying to become perfect, that's how you improve, and that's how they become so nice and refined and good looking. Like I believe that I'm only halfway through this one. I think it stands a chance of being so much better. I play around with all different kinds of ideas and different angles and different ways of tilting them and different positions to put them in and flick, and trying to find the most beautiful ones. These are the 3 that I've settled on. I don't always like doing the one that's in the hand without the deck. That's kind of a show-off thing that became something that I'd only showed to sleight of hand people and card people, which is kind of a bad habit, I guess. Cheers, Charlie. Because it was impressive to magicians and card people, especially the end where you clean up with a gambler's crop. We'll get to that one. Let's look at the first one first, though, with the deck. This is my favorite one to do. Usually, like, I consider myself more of a close-up performer than any other kind. So when I'm doing card tricks for people, I'll be right there with them. They'll be right with me, and I'm usually stood up. Like, I love performing in bars and in weird situations where you wouldn't usually see a performer like me or somebody like me or a magician. So it's usually somewhere stood up, very rarely sat down unless it's a gambling demonstration, a card cheating demonstration. So that puts me in a position where people are looking down a lot. So if I lift this ace of spades up here, then it makes it an awkward situation where they're stood here. Now all of a sudden I've got to move back in order to show them the color change, and you don't want to do that. So the first one for me, and the first idea I came up with, was the one down here where you're looking down. So turn over the ace of spades, pick up the 9 of clubs behind it, pivot them out just over the deck, and you flick and it turns over, and there you have the 9 of clubs. Perfect reveal. The things I want to talk about in this segment is basically you can apply it to any sleight of hand. You don't want to rush this, you don't want to rush it. It's a very kind of smooth thing where nothing's happened until it's happened. So nobody's trying to catch you out. Nobody's trying to catch you out. All you're doing with this, and by the way, like with all of my techniques and tricks and sleight of hand things that I give to you, I want to encourage you to do your own thing with them. So I'm not going to tell you what words to use and what to say, because if you left that to me, you'd probably get fired. I'd be telling you to talk about frozen sausages and crows that make sounds like cats. What's that called? A woof. So when this is taken over the top, when you pull those 2 cards over out to the top like this, it's not a rushed thing. Nothing's happened yet. Nothing's happened. You're just presenting a playing card. Say what you like at this point. Say what you like. The trick kind of just does itself. It doesn't even need words, I guess. Depends on your situation. I'm going to take the ace of spades and I put it out here, and you have to have a motivation for everything. You have to have a reason. You have to be able to justify everything that you do. This is one of my pet peeves. One of the things I don't really like about magicians and magic in general is they hold things in such strange ways. Like, magicians hold things in ways that only magicians could. The way that they use their hands, the way that they turn a playing card over. No one in the world turns a playing card over like a magician. And if you were going to do a color change, you wouldn't have to do these magician moves. It's so annoying. But we can use that. We can use what we see magicians do and use it as a measuring system and say, what are magicians doing? Oh, I see what they're doing. That means I'm not going to do it. But the justification and the trying to get it right, like, here's one of the things when you swing those 2 cards out of the edge of the deck, I always feel a little bit uncomfortable about it because it looks like one of those magician things to do. Like, it looks strange. But the justification, the explanation is you're just holding it out to be displayed, and at the same time you want to isolate a single playing card away from the deck. it's away from the deck. It makes it more interesting, the change. It makes the change more amazing somehow, because it was away from the deck. It was separate from the deck. I think that makes sense. So I swing it away from the deck just to isolate and just to show it. And the fact that I'm holding it between one finger and a thumb, then that kind of looks like I've got very little control over it. It looks like I couldn't possibly do anything with that situation. I couldn't do any magic like that because I'm only holding it on my finger and thumb tip. So in this position, it looks like the card's just isolated, so it kind of justifies itself. You don't need to say any of this to a participant, a spectator, by the way. Can you imagine? Also, what I'm doing here is I'm isolating the playing card away from the deck, so that it's more impossible. You know, it doesn't make sense. But, so the card swings away like this, you isolate it from the deck, and then the snapping and the clicking is very magic-y. It's a very magician thing, again, which I don't like, but it's what's the word for it? How do you describe it? It's an action and it has a result, cause and effect. I think that's what I was looking for. So it's here and I flick and it changes and there's a snap noise and it's questionable, but it happens, you know, the change happens and all of a sudden magically the playing card has changed. So once it's changed at the end, you don't want, oh, by the way, before we get to that, you don't want to rush it. So when you get here, you want to hold it for a moment. And although it might feel like a magic-y thing to do, you know, just hold your fingers out and hold your hand open as if to suggest that, you know, you're not holding anything else. No, don't say it. Just do it. Hold it here, hands out, wait a few seconds, let it be taken in, let them take this situation in, let them see the deck in your hand, let them see the ace of spades away from your hand, let them see that you're not gripping anything. At the same time, don't just stand there like this. You know, I do that a lot. So when you get here, just hold it for just what feels like the right amount of time and don't rush the snap. Like, go slowly into everything. The only fast moment should be when the card turns over. And also, you're going to learn yourself by practice what's going to be hard enough and what's going to work the best for turning that card over. For me, I like to flick it. I like to flick it as hard as I can, because I know that that's going to make the card turn, I know it's going to make the cards turn over faster. With that, the danger comes with the playing cards doing this. I know, Charlie, I'm just showing people, that's not actually the trick. If you flick it too hard, then the cards are going to fall away, they're going to be flicked away, you're going to lose control. You don't want to look like you've got no control, you want to look like you've got little control. But you want it to be just right, and you're going to find that yourself. You're going to learn what that pressure is and what that flick is. The only way to find out is through practice. So here, card changes. Once the cards change, we'll get to this position. Once the once you get here, once the cards changed, I like to do this. I like to flick those cards with my thumb as this hand goes down. It's a very natural thing, by the way. Like this. The hand just falls down by my side, like this. Whoa, I didn't do the change now. Like this, flick. Wait, and I'm showing you the wrong angle. Here, flick like this, and then come back up, take it to the top, and take it to the top of the deck. Now that allows me to just give the Nine of Clubs out freely with nothing hidden behind it. By the way, I didn't mention anything in the previous explanation or in the demonstration at the beginning, but the exact same technique can be used all the way up here, of course. Ace of Spades changes to the Nine of Clubs, come back, steal the card from the back of it, the Ace of Spades from the back of it. I just like it better when it's down here. Still, I think the reason why I kept that out, in fact, is because it kind of looks a bit like the swing change that we did yesterday when it's up here, and I wanted to do something that looked a bit different. Still, play with this idea, swinging them both here, flick, and from this position you can take the Ace of Spades off the back. And just for the sake of explanation, I'll show you what I did just then. Up here, flick, 1, 2, take the 9 with me, and now I can show both sides of the Ace of Spades. The one in the hand, like the one in the hand where you stood, where you have to do this. Let me get the ace. One in the hand where you do this, the one from a distance, where you're further back. I'm not a fan of doing that. I think it looks good for a camera, it's certainly good from a distance, but up close you have to come here to hide that back angle. There's a lot to hide here, because as soon as I as soon as I get into this position here, I have to hide all of this. I have to hide this 9, I have to kind of, and then when it's changed, once the cards turn around, I've got to get rid of that ace quickly, because if anybody stood at the side of me or behind me, they can't see it. So I don't usually go for that one, but still it had to be taught in this video. And the same rules apply, I guess, the same things that are going to apply to this. Ace here, up here, flick, changes. Again, I can do the same thing that I just showed you, where you flex the ace, flex it again, the 9 should I say, and now I can show the back of it. And it's a very simple idea of the ace being here, and this is obviously I'm showing you the back of this. They see the ace, I flick, I do 1, 2, and now I can give this out for inspection. Meanwhile, I've cleaned up with the ace of spades on top of the deck. Now the one in the hand, as I've already said, I'm not a fan of this, but I had to teach it on this video either way. I'm not a fan because you're creating more problems than miracles. You're causing yourself more problems. So we're gonna skim over this one. Please don't get into a habit of performing this or doing this for people. It looks so unnatural in the hand. No one holds playing cards like this. Nobody does. And no one moves playing cards around like this, and it's just wrong. It's just so weird, but I had to teach it. I just had to put it in here because there's going to be some people out there who love it, and I can't argue with this. It does look good on film. It does look good on film. So that's all I got to say about that one. I know I get accused a lot of wasting a lot of people's time, and then there's another crowd of people who say they want this, they want the theory. I'm used to sharing so much theory. That's why these videos are long. I talk a lot because there's so much to say about deception. And I've already said I don't think I've reached the ultimate effect with this principle. I think it's out there somewhere, so maybe one of you guys have found it. Maybe you can find it. And if you do, let me know, because I want to know what it is. I think I've just scratched the surface with this one, with the 3 that I've shown you. Well, maybe with the first two. So if you figure it out, if you figured something out better than what I've shown you, please let me know. Use the comment section. Let me know how you're getting on. So that's it for this video. Thanks for spending some time with me. Let me know how you get on with this trick. And if you use this trick or any other of my slides on the social networks, on YouTube, tag me in them. Feel free, but tag me in them. I want to see how well you do them. I want to see how well you progress. We're almost at 50,000 subs on YouTube, and there's been some great suggestions coming in for what I should do when we hit 50. I want to give, and I want to make something special. I want to do something special for when we hit 50. Keep letting me know. Use the comment section below. Use the comments below to let me know if you've improved or developed this color change. I really want to see it, and I really want to develop this to something even more special. Maybe I can do that with your help. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching The Madison Show. I'm Daniel Madison. I'll be back soon.
Margaret, quick! Margaret! He's on the bloody floor. Hiya there. You want to buy some sunglasses?
The magician takes the ace of spades.
Margaret! 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 He's on the floor. I think he might have had an accident, you know. Are you all watching me? Do you want to buy some sunglasses?